Hello everybody, welcome back out of the case. This is Skyflight 44, aka Sect 44, and today we're going to continue playing Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness. Now, these three places I've actually gone to are not actually places that, was in the original game, actually. Original game Coliseum. Not every single place is actually taken out of Coliseum, but yeah, again, Majora's Mask took a lot of the music, not all of the music, but did take music from Ocarina of Time, took a lot of the assets from Ocarina of Time, though it did use completely original environments, in which I definitely going to say is not all that great with this game, but I still do love this game. I really do love this game. It's better than Coliseum, in my opinion, and it's mainly because of the actual what was it called? The music. I love the music more in this game. The music's just awesome. Some of my favorite tracks in the entire series come from this game. But, just as a little reminder, I didn't catch this on my first playthrough, but if you do a little bit of exploring in here, you can catch some Shadow Pokemon here. And we haven't actually done any battling yet, so we should probably get on that. Casual guy, Cly. Though Clyde, just Clyde. Okay. Well, fuck me, I'm not the writer. At least when I'm trying to make up names, I put effort into it. I don't just put my ass on a keyboard. Okay, first Shadow Pokemon here. Luddiba. I'm not going to be using it. However, Luddiba is going to be incredibly useful for us, just in purifying Pokemon. Because you do need to go and do that. What is this person doing? I should probably just go and do something here. But, what is this person doing? Okay, I have no idea what that person's doing. I guess they're affiliated with somebody in that apartment, but they're just in a place that is not, nobody goes into. Just looking around or something. Well, sorry about that, but that was interesting a little bit. What does Shadow Mist actually do? I believe it might take down the evasiveness of the Pokemon. And just so you know, if you do actually go and take out a Shadow Pokemon, you can catch these Pokemon later on. It isn't a one and done thing. So it is going to be harder to go and get them, more, annoying too. But it isn't going to be all that bad. I'm not going to trust going and using Shadow Blitz again. I'm trying, my damnedest not to go and take this thing out. Even though I'm not going to be using it. But, yeah, see, not very effective against Shadow Pokemon. We can probably go and catch the thing now. There is going to be another Pokemon here that we are going to want to go and use a bit. I don't know if I'm going to be using it, throughout the entire game. It might be one of those Pokemon I'm going to be using and, switching out every so often. But in the early parts, at least, it is going to be one of my backups. But Luddiba, on the other hand, is going to be going into the purifying chamber. And it's pretty much going to be staying in the purifying chamber the entire game. For a second there, I thought you'd taken my Pokemon. Yeah, some people really can't believe that. But when you actually walk around and do stuff, you know, the heart gauge does go down. And we are going, you know, one thing you are going to want to do in the very beginning of the game, before you do get that purifying chamber up, is to keep as many of these shadow Pokemon with you and just walk around and get them to be purified, because you need purified Pokemon to actually go and be able to use the purifying chamber. So, you know, get that shit done. But, and here, some more Pokeballs. Actually, wait. Most likely, there's only one last Pokemon trainer we can actually go and face. But, I probably don't need to go to the Pokemon Center just yet. The... so, box there. Now, one thing Pokemon X and Y really got me into this, but Black 2 and White 2 also helped quite a bit and this department. But I use and buy a lot more items than I used to in Pokemon. Back in, like, you know, first 2 gens, I never actually went and bought items except for, you know, Pokeballs, or maybe, you know, a paralyzed heal or some antidotes for the very beginning of the game. But even then, I just generally used the berries I found instead. But right down here. Nowadays, I buy a shitload of items and I use them all the time. One of the things is, in earlier games, it was far harder for you, not necessarily harder for you to make money. It's just, they didn't go and give you shitloads of money. So if, you know, you're fucking around and you're using a shitload of items and you're buying and replacing them all the time, you're going to run out of money. There's a finite amount of money generally in those games until you actually get to the Elite Four. And the first gen, there was a finite amount of money because you couldn't refight trainers. And then, you know, the second gen, the third gen, you can go and refight trainers, but it's not something you do all the time. So you have a limited source of money. And, you know, Pokemon... Oh, I'll get to that in a second. But in Pokemon X and Y, especially with, you know, some of the things you can actually go in and do, like the Battle Chateau, especially the Battle Chateau, you can get a shitload of money. Even if you spend a lot of money in that place, you can get a lot of money back by fighting in there. You can do it all the time, from nearly the very beginning of the game. So there's no reason why you would ever feel like you don't have enough money to spend on items. But Teddiursa here has gone into reverse mode. What this does is you're going to, you know, Teddiursa is going to be, you know, is always going to have, you know, its health getting drained. You can't give it items. That's one thing you can't do. You can't actually give Teddiursa items while it's in reverse mode. However, I believe everything it does is going to be a critical hit. But the thing about it is, if you call Teddiursa, then it gets out of reverse mode and it's, what was it, the heart gauge, what was it, at least the shadow part of it goes down, which is, you know, wonderful. I think at this point we actually might have a attack that we can actually use with Teddiursa. Probably unlocked one of his attacks. Okay, this will be fine. Actually, I'm going to go and use a Pokeball and then use Lick, because Lick has a it's not going to do all that much damage, and it has a chance of paralyzing. Tackle, critical hit, can take out Poochyena, and I'm not going to take that chance. Not to mention, Pokeball is all I needed. But we are going to be using Poochyena at least, for a little while. Again, Poochyena does learn Poison Fang, and that is quite useful. And I don't really use a lot of poison type moves or even poison Pokemon. Because, well, until I started using Pokemon like Umbreon, I wasn't big on support moves. Even now, I'm still not the biggest, supporter of, trying to use support moves and all that kind of shit. Oh, you really don't have anything in here? Oh, well. We're gonna have to go back, anyway. Which way did I actually do this with? Wrong way, god damn it. I thought I actually picked actually wait, no, I'm just not thinking straight. I probably should have found out that I actually picked that way. Well, with this we can actually go and get that part, go back to the what was it called? The lab, and then continue on with the game. Was it Purr? Yeah, it's Purr. A stupid name. But he's gonna give us the machine part. I believe we have to go to either a gate or Mount Battle. A gate? I think it's probably a gate that we have to go through first. Though Mount Battle is going to be a place we're going to be going to a lot. One of the things I do like about this game is the fact that, you are given quite a lot of experience. The double battles, and the fact that every single Pokemon you really fight in the game is a trained Pokemon. You have... Oh, wait. Let's actually go and see if we can get into that. See if we can actually enter that sailor place. Now, anyway. Because I don't think you can get in there immediately. Yeah, Krabby Club. Oh well. Navigator Burke. Oh, that actually sounds like a real name. But, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, I love this. I completely forgot what I was going to say earlier. But, I am going to stick with Teddiursa for a little while. It's not going to be one of my Pokemon I'm going to be using the entire game. I'm not going to be using... Actually, to be honest, the only one I'm thinking about keeping is Poochyena out of the first couple of ones we're going to be getting. So... Oh, that's what I was talking about. Mount Battle and the fact that you can get so much experience in this game. Especially in something like Sapphire and Ruby. You had a problem getting experience. It wasn't as bad as, let's say, Silver or Gold. In which trying to go and get actual, trying to get any kind of money. I mean, not money, experience. I have no idea what I'm thinking. Was really, really difficult in that game. Oh, look at that. They're actually up here. Let's talk to you. Mr. Verge tends to his many important business undertakings from Gideon Port. We do a lot of traveling from here. When we get some rare time off, we like to relax and unwind leisurely. I'll ask that you keep it quiet and refrain from disturbing us. I like this guy. He's kind of nice. Oh, and it's this guy again. Look, we have our Jolteon. Thank you. You're my new best friend. I'm just gonna throw that out there. You allowed me to get a Jolteon. That's just, you're a wonderful person. Okay, Jovi, let's get the hell out of here. Any of you want to fight? No? Okay. There's some guy leaving port on some super luxury cruiser. Really? Yeah, it's probably that Varich guy. The guy's not listening. Neither was I. We got one fight in there. That's fine. You do want to get in as much fighting as possible in these earlier sections for the, just getting your shadow Pokemon, completely purified. One thing that does happen with your shadow Pokemon is, while they don't level up, if you actually go and use them, if you actually do go and use them and get experience with them, you can actually go and get all that experience back and level up once you purify them. And which is, you're most likely going to immediately get a lot of, you're immediately going to be getting quite a lot of level ups, nearly immediately. I don't really remember when they're actually going to get that purifying chamber up. Properly up, at least. And there was a method of purification in, Colosseum. And we can use that actual method as well in this game, so we're going to be going and doing that. Yeah, Jovi, that took us a little while to go and get. Don't drop it. No, not yet. By the point where the purifying chamber actually gets completed, we will have Pokemon with heart gauges of 0. And the village called a gate. There's a relic stone that's power to restore shadow Pokemon. Yeah, of course I'll go. Well, there's not actually any Pokemon we can actually go and get in this place. I believe there's some TMs that we can go and get and shit like that. Not to mention there's a lot of experience to be, got there. However, I think I'm going to be going and starting to use Poochyena. Let's go and switch them out. Oh, look at that freaking health. 27 health. Oh well. Now, as far as legendaries go in this game, I believe there's only there's at least 4 legendaries you can get in the game. There might be a 5th. I don't really remember. And in the actual game, there's probably just 4. Colosseum, you actually got Ho-Oh if you beat, I believe, Mount Battle all the way through, from the first area to the last area, which is 100 battles, actually, after you've purified every single Pokemon. I don't think that happens in this one. However, there's going to be a lot of fights in here. Your dream is to become Pokemon Champion one of these days. Huh, okay. Well, guess what, dude? There's no champion in this area. There's actually a single gym you can do in this entire game, which is weird. Because, Pokemon thrives off of that shit. But, even in the game like this, the story really isn't all that important, which again, is kind of, I'm not gonna say weird, but disappointing. Though, even though, you know, Pokemon is never really known for a good, you know, really in-depth story, at least. You can find actual, what's it called? You can actually find some good stories sometimes. Mainly in some of the, you know, other media that it has. Some of the actual ones and some of the stories in the anime are actually pretty good. Even to this day, some of them I have found some good ones. Even in the Diamond and Pearl saga, which, to be honest, was where I just threw the anime out the window. But the Pokemon Special manga especially has great story. If you want story and Pokemon, go read that manga. I've don't really have. I can't stop praising that manga. It's wonderful if you like Pokemon. Do you actually do anything? No. Oh, you actually do want to fight. Oh, cool. Thank you. Saida. Yeah. Weird. Azurill and Igglybuff. These ones aren't going to be all that difficult. I'll throw that out there. But, in my Pokemon X really started making the games easy. Ooh, Poison Fang. Once Pokemon X came around, with that XP share being ridiculously just... It's ridiculous what it actually does, and if you don't know, it makes all of the experience shared from, you know, kind of like how the original game did it, in which it's shared between everybody, except there's no experience loss. Everybody gets at least half, unless they actually participate, in which they get full experience from beating an enemy. And as you can probably guess, you're most likely going to be getting a shitload of levels. To counteract this, what I actually did was, instead of turning it off, because, well, that's stupid, I went and actually just caught more Pokemon, made more teams, and then just kind of, you know, used multiple different teams of Pokemon throughout the entire game. I have like 24 teams I've set up, and I'm still training just for the hell of it. And Pokemon like Azurill, you know, Pokemon I never really use, I've actually got some experience with now. Like, I actually had I've always wanted to use what was it, Executor, before. I never really had the chance to. By the time I, you know, could find one of those things, I already had a team. Not to mention, by that point, I have so many, you know, I would have like a lot of Pokemon at third evolutionary state. Like third stage, I should say. I don't really want to stick around with a basic, you know, Execute, and then having to go and train that a little bit before I actually go on with a, you know, Leaf Stone at least. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I like Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. I never use Vulpix, even though it's one of my one of my favorite fire types, because you get it so late in the game. Like Mount Pyre, I believe. In Silver and Gold, at least you found that thing before the 4th gym. Okay. Nice. There's a lot of old. This is kind of like a retirement town where a town where you go to retire. So you're gonna find a lot of older people here. Okay, Poochyena, come on. There's a Poochyena over there that we're going to want to go and defeat. And you're the only one that can actually do it, because Jolteon's still using Bite. Now, if you remember, this is back in the 3rd generation, so we're going by Gen 3 and lower rules for, attack, special attack, and all that kind of bullshit. The special physical split hasn't been done yet, which, no matter what, is my favorite thing that happened in 4th generation. So, dark type moves are special attacks, and ghost type moves are physical attacks. And let's just say that should have been reversed. I have no idea why that wasn't reversed. Okay, that's great. Special. I have no idea why ghost wasn't special, and why dark wasn't physical, because, most of the special, dark had a lot of physical type sounding moves, like, like thief, bite, crunch. They sound like, I believe beat up was also at this time. Those moves sound like moves you would actually have physical contact with. What about, let's think about what ghost type moves were like. Well, Lick has physical contact, but I highly doubt licking in itself is actually doing any damage. It's more of something else is actually happening, like some special type of attack effect is happening while you're making the physical contact. It has to be, because if not, that's stupid. But other than that, Shadow Ball, Nightshade, these aren't physical type sounding attacks. And not to mention something like Mischievous, Haunter, Gengar. These Pokemon had, they were generally good with special. The only one I can think of that wasn't good with special and was more physical might have been Duskull. However, I don't really know if that's true. I definitely know that Duskull was more of a defensive Pokemon than something like Shuppet. But I just never got the Dark Ghost thing. And you don't want to fight. Okay, I believe we can, though, go in here for at least one thing. I don't think she's actually going to be a fighter. I believe she's a tutor. Okay, you are the teacher lady. You can teach Mimic, Thunder Wave, and Seismic Toss. I believe this is only once, though. Yep, any move can only be taught once, and no more. Is that understood? Yes! So, yeah, Jolteon, I would like to get Thunder Wave. Another reason why I want to, pick this up. I'm going to be going with Sand Attack, I believe, can actually get 2 different Pokemon, maybe? Actually, wait, Tail Whip can get 2 different Pokemon. I'm more likely to go and use the stat, reduction, stat reduction moves in later games. But, Shadow Pokemon can't be taught anything, so you have to go and purify them before you can do anything with them. How much money do I have? Wrong one. Okay, around 7,000. Let's go and pick up a couple of potions. Actually, wait, how many potions do I have? I do have 6. I'm not going to pick up any just yet. But let's continue on with the actual game. Okay, and here... Okay. Well, she's not the person we're going to be looking for. However, her husband is, you know, the person we're actually going to be trying to find. I believe he might actually be running. He's going to be coming soon, pretty much. Yep, he's right there. These two are actually, well, important characters from the first game, sort of. The secondary character you had, the one that was following you out through the entire game, that girl, Rui, I believe it might have been. She's actually related to these two. Don't really know how, because I haven't played that game in a long time. And I don't have it, so... I want it, but I don't have it just yet. I have to go out and get it again. But, she's related to them somehow. Let's go in to the Pokemon Center. And, you know, just heal up again. We do need to go and make sure that at least one of our Pokemon are at can be purified, and I do kind of want that to be Poochyena. So there is that. Did we actually go and get? Oh, we did get Bullet Seed. Though I don't really want to use Bullet Seed. It's a bit too weak for me. It might make some good money, at least. Okay, this guy's lost in the village. And you can, if you actually beat him, he will appear in another part of the village. Still not knowing, you know, how to get out of here. But Dusk. The names in this game. At least these ones that they're starting without, you know, right now, are actually kind of, sort of, possible. I don't really think a lot of the other ones can be, you know, considered names. But, yeah. The Shadow Pokemon in the very beginning of the game don't take all that much to go and, you know, get their Shadow gauges down. The heart, or at least the heart gauge down. But the ones later on, especially any kind of, you know, anything you find in the final, like dungeon, the final area, those ones will not. They will be a long time before they actually get the heart gauges down to be near purification. Now, actually, I don't even remember what the reward was, if there's a reward at all, for getting every single Pokemon purified. I know of the one in Coliseum, which was only like 49 Shadow Pokemon Coliseum. In this game, there's around 81. Actually, I remember that there's a Togepi you can actually get in this game. If you go and return the Togepi, the purified Togepi, I believe you can actually get Elekid. I should probably think about going and picking that up if I really want to. I don't know, so many things I can actually do in this game. This was back when the total amount of Pokemon was only like 386, around there. Bad sense of direction. I mean, look at that, buddy, 192. I remember the guy in the very beginning of this area gave me 70. You know what they do in Pokemon X and Y? They give you hundreds, sometimes thousands of Pokédollars, or, you know, credits, I'm just going to call them. And, well, let's just say, items, money is inflated in later games. However, the items still cost the same. So, we can go buy a shitload more items in the later games, but oh well. I'm going to be stopping it here. I'm going to be, picking this back up pretty soon, but see ya, everybody. Until next time.